Alright. Well, I pretty much came full circle. I pretty much just did a big circle through this whole area. I think it was maybe 3 or 4 miles altogether. But I'm back to where I found that wood sorrel. And here's some sort of clover. And the features for clover are these little bands on the leaves. I think they call these chevrons or something, but that's a distinct feature of clover. I think this is red clover. I'm not too familiar with the clovers, but I believe they're all edible. But they do contain oxalic acid or something like that, which might give you problems like kidney stones or something, so you gotta, I think you need to eat these in moderation if you're gonna. And I'm not too sure what the best stage to eat them is. Most of the plants have a stage that's best for eating. Another plant that you should watch out for is poison ivy, which is right here. Let's see. The use of 3, let it be. I'm not allergic to poison ivy, so I'm handling it, but you shouldn't handle it unless you're not allergic to it. It's probably not a good idea to handle it anyway, really, but I want to make sure people can see what this looks like. This poison ivy just grows all over the ground, but it can also grow up the side of trees. And the way you notice it on trees is the vine will be hairy, like it has little roots coming off all over it. It's got a real hairy vine. So don't go climbing trees with hairy vines on them unless you're not allergic to poison ivy. I'm gonna walk with the camera. I feel kind of weird doing this. I'm not used to talking to myself. There's some mullein out there in the field. I've seen so many wild plants, man. It's crazy. This is a really good area. I mean, here's some more wild carrot. If I weren't as cautious as I am, I'd, you know, mark these spots and come back in the late winter, early spring and maybe harvest some and, you know, see. That doesn't smell like carrot. Somebody said the entire plant smells like carrot. I guess the stem kind of smells like carrot. I hate relating wild plants to domestic ones because they really don't match up. And sure enough, you know, there's the wild carrot and there's the poison hemlock. They grow right together. So even if I came back in the spring, I know the wild carrot grows right here, but right next to it is poison hemlock. So in the springtime, how am I going to tell the difference? I think this is a plant, unless you're really experienced, you need to leave it alone. Here's some more of that bee balm or butterfly bush or whatever it's called. I can't remember the name. I think I was a little dehydrated when I came out today. My mind doesn't seem to be working right. That's a good sign of dehydration, if you can't recall things accurately. I've drank 2 liters of water today since I've been out here. This smells really good though. I'm half tempted to try some of this as a tea, but not really big on mint myself, any of the mint family. But I'm coming back. Let's see. I found blackberries, which I keep calling raspberries for some reason. I found the small ones, we call them thimble caps, and the big ones, which have a really thick cane and they grow way up over your head. that's a good sign. You don't have to find the berries, you just got to find the canes. If you find really thick canes that are thicker than your finger and up over your head, even if they're old and dead, you know that's a spot to mark and come back to. But I found a bunch of chestnut boletes, a huge variety of boletes. A lot of them were buggy, but I could have harvested quite a few. And mushrooms are a good source of food, especially if you don't have meat, because they contain a lot of the same vitamins and minerals that meat do. A lot of vegetarians eat them because they lack meat in their diet, and they use the mushrooms to make up those nutrients. But blackberries, the mulberries are done. I didn't see any blueberries. Got a few chanterelles, a few cinnabar chanterelles. Cinnabars are my favorite of the chanterelles. I like black trumpets, they're good, but for a mushroom that you can, you know, kind of sink your teeth into, some crab apples that I'm tripping over. I like to have a nice camera, do some quality videos. This isn't a quality video. I'm not very prepared for it, and the camera's not too great. The deer flies are horrendous. Ugh. Every time you hit a field, man, they just tear you up. That's one nice thing about Michigan. There's a lot of different habitats, and you really don't have to go far from home to find a small woods, swamp, field. Find a lot of different edibles in a short amount of time. I don't recall everything I found today, but I'm sure I've found probably 30 different edibles today. There's more of the plantain, which is edible. Those are pretty stringy though. You probably want to get the young leaves to eat. I don't really care for it. Here's that nettle again. Man, that nettle is tall. It must be 10 feet tall. But you can see the little, I don't know if they call those racemes or what, but the little flower seed pods that come out from the leaf axils.